about saving, saving, saving. Let's talk about savings. Hey, hey, hey. It's me, Tiffany the Budgetnista, but you knew that, your favorite financial educator. Now would actually be a really great time for you to tag a friend, tell your mama, tell your cousins and them. Today is Ask the Budgetnista, where I answer one specific question about one specific financial wholeness step. We've already done credit, we've already done budget. I feel like we did something else, but today we're talking about savings. And this is all from my new book, Get Good with Money 10 Simple Steps to Becoming Financially Whole. And so there are 10 steps to financial wholeness: budgeting, savings, debt, credit, learning to earn, investing like an insider, insurance, net worth, your money team, and leaving a legacy. And so what I've been doing is going live and just sharing with y'all, one of the 10 simple steps, kind of doing like just a little sneak peek, like answering a question of one of the steps to financial wholeness. Financial wholeness is when all aspects of your financial life are working together for your greatest good, your biggest benefit, and your richest life, right? Because it's important to understand that your life is more than just like get good. I'm just putting it in here, pinning. It's more than just one specific component to your finances. If you only focus on, let's just say, financial freedom, right? So having enough money that you don't have to work anymore, that's cute. But guess what? I achieved financial freedom and I was still a whole financial mess. You want to know why? Because I didn't have things like an estate plan, the proper insurance. That is more than just that. And plus, too, what I don't like about financial freedom is that it really just adheres to a small percentage of people. Financial wholeness is for everybody. So tag your friend. We're going to answer the question. Today's question, people ask me all the time. So I'm going to take one question and people ask all the time. Budgetnista, budgetnista. They don't say it like that. I'm just like, that's how I say it. Budgetnista, budgetnista. What can I do? Like, how much savings should I have, right? I'm sorry. I'm like over here trying to pin. Okay. Budgetnista, how much savings should I have? And so this is a really great question. And here is my response. So it all depends. Here's how much savings you should consider. So when you're saving, I want you to understand first, like one of the purposes of savings, one of the most important purposes, there's really two goals for saving. There is saving for safety and saving for goals. Today, we're just going to talk about saving for safety. That is one of the core purposes of saving. You're saving to create a safety net. So when you experience financial trauma, loss of job, reduction of income, maybe you got sick, whatever that financial trauma might be, the first net that is there to catch a sister is savings, right? So if you don't have any savings, you're already like, next net. It might actually be your credit cards, which we don't want to do. You might be like, dang, maybe I'm going to take money out of my retirement account. Dang, I'm going to have to ask my parents for money. Dang, I'm going to have to, you see what I mean? So there are all these different nets, unemployment. There's so many different nets that can potentially catch you, but ideally you want to slow down the falling process when you experience financial distress, and you want the first net to catch you to be, you want the first net that's going to catch you to be your, is it doing this? Don't, my thing is acting up. Don't be a hater, Instagram, not today, not on today. I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Instagram, you and I will never be friends. Let me see if it's going to do it for me. Pin the comment. Okay, so you want that to be your first safety net. So now, a lot of people, especially now, during times like now, everyone's like, "Ooh, I want to invest." And I've actually seen people say, if you're saving now, you're a fool. This is what I say. You listen to that person, you're a fool. No, that's foolish to say, because all money does have a job. Savings is not about making money. It's like almost like saying, like you're in a car and it's a dope Lambo. And it would look better without the seatbelt because, Lamborghinis be looking all slick. But since you want to die if there's a car accident, Would the Lambo look better without seatbelts? Yes, because it's not as aesthetically pleasing like investing. It's not as slick. It's not as fancy. But if you get in a car accident, that is your first line of defense. Don't get rid of that just for cuteness. The purpose of saving is not to get coin off. It's not to earn interest. I mean, those things you're wanting to definitely do that. But the purpose of saving, at least for what we're talking about tonight, there's two purposes: for goals and to provide safety. It's your initial safety net. Okay. So the question we're answering tonight is, or today is, how much savings do we have? So like we're going to talk about just emergency savings. Your initial goal for emergency savings should be to save 3 months to start. I know it's not really enough, but and so let's dial back. It's not just 3 regular months. So if you're just joining me, we're talking about one of the steps from my book, Get Good with Money, available at getgoodwithmoney.com. You see it there in the comment and I pinned it. It should be in the description. Over here, I'm looking at Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, you see it. Right. So we're talking about step 2, which is saving. Right. And we're talking about a specific type of saving for security and safety. The initial responsibility of saving. Right. So it's not saving like, if I want to talk about 3 months, I'm not talking about 3 months of your regular life. There's regular life and there's Noodle Budget life. And sometimes you got to drop down and get your noodle on, girl. Hey, drop down and get your noodle on. Drop down and get your noodle on. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Drop down and get your noodle on. You don't know that song. You too young. You too square. It's like I'm a square. Right? So dropping down and get your noodle on means this. Your regular life costs you $6,000 a month. I'm talking to sis. I'm talking about your mortgage. I'm talking about your rent. I'm talking about all the fun things. Talking about hair done, nails done, everything did. Talking about Google, Hulu, Disney Plus. I'm talking about Netflix. I'm talking about all the bells and whistles. $6,000 a month. But your noodle budget, if I had to eat ramen noodles, but not literally, because some of y'all have been getting on me when I talk about the noodle budget, it's not actually having to eat ramen noodles. It's theoretically what's the cheapest you can get your life, right? And so if you had to eat ramen noodles budget, rice and beans, peanut butter and jelly, whatever the cheapest life you can get down to, normally your normal life is $6,000, but you could get yourself down to $4,000 if you had to. That is your noodle budget. You want to start your goal to be to save 3 months of your noodle budget. That is the initial goal. So instead of 3 times 6, 18,000, you want 3 times 4, 12,000. Because here's why. Remember, we're talking about savings has two roles. Saving is for security and safety, and saving is for goals. We're not talking about savings for goals right now. We're talking about security and safety savings. Those 3 months is because if you were to experience financial trauma, hardship, you should be dropping down to get your noodle on, right? You should be getting down. Yes, there'll be a replay. You should be getting down to your noodle. If you have not tagged your friend, your cousin, your mama, tag them in the comments. So you should be getting down to your noodle budget. You find that at work. I'm sorry, the place where you're working now, we're no longer going to be in business anymore. Oh my goodness. You should literally come home, be like, noodle budget? We don't need Disney Plus. Girl, it was cute while it lasted. Nope. Netflix, sis. Look, well, we're not gonna pretend like we don't use other people's Netflix account. Either way. So you're gonna start slashing those unnecessary expenses temporarily to manage, because you don't want to be bleeding money. At least if you have your 3 months, you have 3 months to figure out what you want to do. That's an initial. Then ideally, once you get your 3 months, well, even before that, I want you to anticipate for yourself, because 3 months is not enough for most folks. The purpose of that savings net is not to make you money, although you do want to save it in an online only savings account, a high interest savings account. You definitely want to do that. But then I want you to, because people always ask me, that's what we're answering today. How much money should I have saved? Aim for 3 months of your bare bones noodle budget. That's what I like to call your noodle budget. And aim to start there. And then I want you to look at your industry and then ask yourself, hey, how quickly do I think I'd be able to replace my income? So for example, my mother, before she retired, was a nurse, right? Let me tell you something about nurses. They always in demand. You think they're in demand now? Please. I remember being in high school like 2 years ago, because obviously, according to the skin, I'm 20. Right? I remember being in high school. My mother's hospital was closing down. And that phone rang so much. We had to like keep it off the hook. Want to know why? Because all the nurses, they were like, your hospital closed down. Every other hospital in the surrounding area was begging them, please, 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 please. Nurses are always in demand. They used to literally fly to the Caribbean to find women to come back to the United States to be nurses. They are always in demand. So you know what? For my mother, 3 months of Noodle Budget was plenty because honestly, she could go back to work just like that. My sister, Carol, engineer. It took her a long time, about a year, to find her first job as an engineer. And so she might be more conscious that 3 months is a place to start of having 3 months of Noodle Budget, but she probably wants to maybe she might have 6 months to a year's worth of savings. Does that make sense? That 3 months of savings is a bare bones to start, but then you're going to look at your industry and how quickly that you know that oh, you know what? Hey, you over here advertising? Oh, not anymore. Talking about follow them for financial coaching. You out. So you want to make sure that you're saving enough based upon how quickly you know that you can replace your income based upon your job and your industry. So does that make sense? That's what we're answering tonight. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, savings is a cornerstone for the rest of your financial life. It is really important that you understand that. Like I said, I don't preach financial freedom anymore because been there, done that. My mother says, done that, done that. My mother's Nigerian. I'm like, that's not the phrase, Bobby. Done that, done that. So I done that. Reach financial freedom, meaning I make enough, I have enough set aside that if I didn't want to work anymore, sis don't got to work anymore. Guess what? I was still a whole financial mess. And that's when I realized that I did y'all dirty. That I've been trying to walk us toward financial freedom. And then I got there ahead of many people. And I got there, I said, oh, sis, it's messy over here. Do not recommend. Not to say I don't want you to reach financial freedom in that I want you to get to a space and place where you don't have to work anymore, but that's not enough. And you don't even need that to be enough. That's what I realized. I'm like, we're working toward the wrong thing, right? And so that's when I came up with financial wholeness, because I realized that there were other aspects of my financial life that were missing. And I'm going to tell you, literally, look at this financial wholeness checklist. You see this? If you go to getgoodwithmoney.com, you could take the free quiz. You could also get my book, Get Good with Money, 10 Steps to Achieving Financial Wholeness. You could take the free quiz, and guess what? I give you this checklist. It's going to come to your inbox, right? So here are the 10 steps to financial wholeness. Budget building, budget building, number 1. Saving like a squirrel, number 2. Digging out of debt, number 3. Scoring higher credit, number 4. Learning to earn, increasing your income, number 5. The first 5 steps are the foundational budget, savings, debt, credit, earning, right? So in Get Good with Money, I really show you how to master that foundation, and then you build on it. Next level is number 6, investing like an insider for retirement and wealth. 7, getting good with insurance. Insurance is there to protect you and your assets. 8, growing rich-ish. Right? That is increasing your net worth, what you own minus what you owe. 9, picking your money team, right? Your financial professionals. And so that is your the people in your life that are going to help you make the right financial choices. Asking for help is one of the best things you can do for your money. And 10, leaving a legacy, estate planning. So first 5 steps in my book, Get Good with Money, 10 simple steps to achieving financial wholeness are foundational basic steps. And then we build upon it. But if you get those 10, even if you never reach financial freedom, you will be more than okay. And that's what I'm wanting. I realize that as a teacher, my goal is to make sure that everyone in class can achieve success. Everyone in class can read, write, add, subtract enough to make it out there in the world. And then anything else you learn can be built upon that foundation. That's why I used to love teaching preschool, because one of my goals was that my 4-year-olds, because I taught 3 and 4-year-olds, that letter shapes, numbers, colors, we got that. But I wanted my 4-year-olds to be able to read basic reading, like sight words and some sentences, because I knew if I gave that to you, no matter where you went after that, my father always says, once you get education, people can take a lot from you, but education ain't one of them. Once that is given, that can never be taken. And so that's what I'm trying to do with Get Good with Money in my book, is that I want to give you such a strong first level of financial foundation, and then level number 1 on top of that, that you can then learn. If you want to trade options, you want to short, you want to invest in real estate, you want to do procurement, you want to start a business, all that is good. But you know what? I know that I left you with a foundation that even if that thing falls, this right here is solid. You see what I mean? This right here is solid. It's the reason why I have been through so many ups and downs, but I'm here because I have achieved 100% financial wholeness. Well, I'll say 95% because I'm finishing working on my trust. I have an estate plan attorney. And what I love about financial wholeness is that it looks different for different people. You can achieve it as preschool teacher Tiffany, because I was about 70 or 80% financial whole when I was a preschool teacher. Then when the recession hit when I was 30, I dropped down to like 30, 40%. Financial wholeness has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has everything to do with what you do with it. And so I am here to show you what to do with it. So I literally am preschool teaching you. I want you to leave with such a strong foundation. Even if the next teacher don't teach you how to read, Miss Tiffany taught you how to read. Literally, I still see my preschoolers now. I think the oldest ones are like 16. I'm like, I feel so old. But guess what? Keyshawn Ben knew how to read. Miss Tiffany taught him. I want you to go out into the world and achieve all of your financial goals, knowing that your foundation is so strong. Even if you get rocked and socked, you can only fall so far. Okay? Okay. So you can get good with money at getgoodwithmoney.com. If you like to support a Black business, which I hope you will, if you're watching this like live, when you click on there, there's a bookstore called Word Bookstore. And you can get a signed copy currently. I mean, if you're watching the replay, I can't promise. But there's a few copies left. I signed them. And, I used to always have my bracelets. Oh, y'all didn't even let me. You didn't let me. So, and they each come with, so these are my Budgetnista bracelets. I always wear them. They're a financial reminder. They say what you need is greater than what you love, is greater than what you like, greater than what you want. These are your spending priorities in order. Need it, love it, like it, want it. You ask yourself those questions. And I give this bracelet away with each of those book sales to support Black businesses, because hello, Black business, me, right? So if you buy from Word, signed copy, comes with a bracelet. Okay, I'll see you next week, whatever. All right, y'all. I hope this was helpful. Yes, next week I think we're gonna talk investing. We'll see. We're gonna see. All right. Yes, your pre-orders of the book are signed if it's gotten from Word, because I wanted to give them a little extra boost. I'm not signing all pre-orders because y'all don't already order thousands. But from Word Bookstore, I'm signing those books. Okay. Yeah, if you ordered it from Word Book, that book is gonna be pre-signed. If you ordered it from Amazon, nope. Okay, bye. Drop down and get your noodle on, girl. Drop down and get your noodle on. Drop down and get your noodle on, girl. Bye.